What's up, everyone? South Chicago Chef is back, and I had to do something for my Hrvat friends for tomorrow. The big game is tomorrow, the final. I know how much this means to all my Croatian friends, so what I did was I consulted one of the best Croatian cooks that I know, who is Rick Quinn, for his Cevape recipe. So today we're going to be making some Cevapes. I feel like I've always been an honorary Croatian, and so to bring them good luck, we're going to make some Cevapes today, so let's check out the ingredients. All right, so the thing about Cevapes is very, very simple, and you don't want to complicate it. That's kind of the theme that I got from Rick when he gave me the recipe. I did read a lot of other recipes out there that have like a lot of other stuff in them, but we're gonna go with that traditional South Chicago Cevape recipe, the one that we used to get at Casino. That was so good. Hopefully the one that you get like at our bar or at Small World. So let's start. So come take a look at the ingredients here. By the way, come back to me. We have a guest filmer today. My nephew Robbie just woke up. It's Saturday morning, 11:30. He woke up about 15 minutes ago. Both of my kids are upstairs getting ready, so he volunteered to video. So thanks, Rob. All right, so here we go. I could not find the right lamb that I wanted to get in terms of like a little shoulder or like a little cut of it, because we're gonna grind this. You're gonna meet Abe Froman, the grinder, today. So I just got 1 pound of ground lamb, and then I got 1 pound, and then I just took a piece of a pork shoulder that I bought and just cut up into chunks 1 pound of pork shoulder, and then I have 2 pounds of chuck roast here. This is 2 pounds of beef. So you got beef, pork, and lamb. All right, and then for every 1 pound of meat, so this is in total 4 pounds of meat, it's 1 teaspoon of sugar. I'm sorry, it's not sugar, it's salt. It looks like sugar. It's 1 teaspoon of salt, so that's 4 teaspoons of salt. It's a half a teaspoon for every pound, so that's 4 half teaspoons of sugar. And then this is half teaspoon for every pound of garlic, granulated garlic or garlic powder. This is garlic powder. And then 1 tablespoon of oil per pound. So that's 4 tablespoons of oil. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna throw this lamb in at the bottom, just kind of break it up a little bit. Then I'm gonna throw in the pork, make sure I get all of it. Then I'm gonna throw in the beef and just kind of mess it up in there. All right, now all of this ingredients is gonna go in. The reason why I'm doing this now is so that when it goes through the grinder, it gets all incorporated together. All right, so the salt's in, pepper's in. I think Rick said to kind of fold it in as you were massaging all of the ground meat. I don't think that he knew that I was gonna use my grinder today. So this is gonna absolutely massage it into all of the meat as it goes through the grinder. But first what you have to do is, you gotta get in here, use these like bear claws. You gotta use these claws just to toss it up. You wanna make sure that you get it all incorporated, get all the seasoning on there. I'm pretty sure that's how you have to do it. I should say, I've made Cevapes before. They've never tasted like the ones that I've got in Chicago, but I've never consulted Rick before I did this, so hopefully these taste like the ones from Chicago. All right, so now that we got all of this meat and seasonings incorporated, let's head over to Abe Froman, the grinder. Here we are. Let's meet Abe Froman. So this is our 1.5 horsepower commercial grinder. If you don't have a grinder, I forgot to mention, just buy ground. Just buy ground beef, ground pork, ground lamb, and fold it all together. Since I have a grinder, I always feel like that's the best way to do it. It kind of feels more homemade. So let's shove this stuff through the grinder, and we'll have our mix come from Cevape. See, I just load this tray up and then shove it all down the tray. Some people say that they don't want to know how the sausage is made. I absolutely disagree with that. I think you have to know how the sausage is made because you want to know what's in your food. You don't want to just eat, you just don't want to eat it, not knowing what's in there. So let's take a break right here. I'll get the rest of this ground and then I'll come show you what we do next. So all of the meat is ground. As you can see, it's nice, well incorporated. So all I'm gonna do here is just kind of smash it all together. Just gonna incorporate it and smash it. I'm gonna do this for about 30 or 40 seconds. I'm gonna make it into a nice big meatball, and then it's gonna go into the refrigerator for about 4 or 5 hours, or until we get the charcoal grill going tonight to make these babies. And by the way, one thing that I forgot to mention, if you just wanna give a quick little peek over there, yeah, that's an eggplant, and that's some red pepper. When we come back from letting this rest in the fridge, we're gonna make some homemade ajvar as well. Be back. All right, here we go. We're continuing our Croatian Cevape and ajvar. It's been 5 hours. The meat is nice and cool. It's ready to come through the sausage stuffer. Yes, we are gonna put it through a sausage stuffer so that we have nice uniform pieces. But before we do that, let's make this ajvar and then get it onto the stove to reduce down. Some purists will say there's no reducing down, but everything that I read, I want that concentrated flavor. So let's take a look at what goes in this ajvar. Ajvar time. Here we go. Pulling tight here, Rob. We got 2, so I got the coals going, I got the charcoals going. I left some of these black bits on there because I just roasted these red peppers on the charcoal. So 2 red peppers right into the Ninja. Also roasted an eggplant at that same time, right into the Ninja. Couple teaspoons of salt. I'm actually only gonna put half that amount in there just to make sure. We could always put in more later. Teaspoon and a half of pepper. Nothing called for this. No recipe called for crushed red pepper, but I want it to be spicy, so I'm adding crushed red pepper. Booyah kasha. All right, there's some crushed red pepper. Garlic, it said, you know, to taste, right? However much you like garlic. And you know we love that garlic. We're about that garlic life. So we're gonna put in a nice, let's call that, we're gonna call that like a tablespoon and a half. And then every recipe called for regular vinegar. A few that I read that I really liked had red wine vinegar. So I'm actually gonna put, I would say that's less than a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. That's just gonna give it a little zing. And then about a tablespoon of, well, let's go with all that oil, of canola. All right, let's pulse this up. All right, here we go. We're gonna pulse this ajvar. Ideally, we want it to be pinkish red once it comes out, and then we're gonna go right to the cast iron skillet to reduce it. So let's take a look. I want this to be pretty smooth, so I'm gonna give it a couple seconds here to pulse up. Shake it up, shake it up. All right, let's see. Come look with me, Rob. That looks pretty good. Let's see. Oh man, that smells amazing. Here, smell that while you're filming.
Oh wow.
Does that smell good?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go over to the stove and get this to reduce. So I'm just gonna put this cast iron skillet, you know I use my cast iron skillet constantly. I'm gonna just put this on medium. I'm gonna put all of this sauce in here, shake it all out, and I'm just gonna let any of the water consistency that was in those peppers or the eggplant basically reduce out of it to make it into a better concentrated flavor of sauce. So we're gonna let this happen for about 10-12 minutes. While we do that, we're gonna head over and make some Cevapes out of the sausage stuffer. So my nephew said while I was putting the ajvar in here and getting the sausage stuffer ready, he said, "You gonna keep the beer in there?" I said, "Yeah, because any good Croatian that I know, I don't know if it's Miller Lite or not, but when they're cooking and they're at the Sunday Crow Club that we used to hang out at, I know they were even having some Slivovitz or some beer. So absolutely, we're having a beer while we make this meal. All right, check it out. This is my little sausage stuffer. This is a 5-pounder. You could get these at like Cabela's, wherever. Actually, Frank Veraldi and Kathy got me this sausage stuffer, so thank you guys, I still use it. I did buy a 25-pound sausage stuffer. As you know, I'm one of the sausage guys as well, as in addition to being the South Chicago chef. So I have a 25-pound stuffer. This is a little guy, since remember, we have 4 pounds of meat. So let's see how these guys come out. We're gonna just do a couple of these and then see what they look like. So, all right. So I like as long as my middle finger, like right there, and just cut them off. And then that'll be one. Let's make a few of these, Rob. Get a few of these coming out. Two. Three. So I think once we kind of tighten up the little ends like this, I think we have the makings of a perfect Cevape. I'm gonna get the rest of these out of the stuffer, and then I will meet you at the charcoal grill. Come right back. Baby, it's grill time. So we got the, so I got one of these egg smokers. It's not the green egg. It's called Vision, but same thing, ceramic. I use it as a grill a lot. One tip that I want to show you as part of this video, as we go to grill these Cevapes, just get like a little container, put some oil in there, and see just that napkin. Grab this with your tongs, and just take this right onto the grill like this. Nothing's gonna stick to that. I clean that grill off a little bit. That's all flavor to me. I don't mind it at all. All that charcoal goodness. Now that grill is nice and oily, I'm just gonna grab these couple trays of Cevapes, and we're just gonna put them on separate like this. So what we're gonna do is get them going, and about halfway through, we'll check in to see if we got a nice sizzle on them. Come right back. It's raining in Arizona in July, but we do this for Croatia. In the rain. There's my pool. Look at this smoke coming out of this charcoal. Look at this. Get in here. Oh, mama. Mama. All right, let's see. It's the first time I opened it. It's been about 8 or 9 minutes. Let's see. Oh, baby. Oh my God, they look just like when we grew up. Oh, mamacita. Cevape peach cobbler. Look at that. Look at the crust on this. Come, get in here. Oh, my face is hot. Look at that crust on there. Yeah, see, it's hot. All right. We're going to do about 5 or 6 more minutes on the other side. Then we're going to plate this thing up. I'm freaking starving, and I'm ready for Croatia to win the World Cup. I couldn't be more excited right now for what's happening. I mean, look at these. It looks like I'm at Casino on 98th Street and Commercial right now, reliving my childhood. I'm that excited to eat this. So let's plate this up. I just grilled a little bread. Now, I couldn't get the Pogača bread or whatever it is. Obviously, we don't have that here. Maybe we do, like there is a European bakery like in Central Phoenix, but I can't get the kind of bread. So I tried to do a best representation with just a little grilled bread and butter. So I'm just gonna put these 3 on here, and then I'm gonna grab 3 Cevapes. I'm just gonna go on there like this and make a little sandwich. That's what I always love doing with that bread. Here's the ajvar right here. A little bit of ajvar on there. A little bit more, right? We ain't shy about this, right? Right, Rob? Mm-hmm. Okay, so a little bit of ajvar. I always felt like we always had these onions. A few little onions. Just a little bit of the, I just do a little garnish of parsley just to make it look good. Give a little freshness to it. A little bit of parsley. Okay, let's try this. Just like I'm a kid again. Yeah, it's so good. I wish I could eat that every day. So there's one last thing before I call this one the end. I'm like want to get to eating so quick. I do have to do this. About 15 years ago, when I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car, we had a guy that would come do oil changes on all of the cars at our facility. And he was a Croatian guy, and we got to know each other, and he found out that I was from a Croatian neighborhood, and he gave me a bottle of Šljivo back then in like an Arrowhead water bottle. And I've never drank it, but I've had it in my liquor cabinet the entire time in this water bottle. But because Croatia is in the World Cup final tomorrow, I want to say to all my Croatian friends in Chicago and all over the country, Živio, idemo Hrvatska. The end.